thanks in large part to a 25-point performance by Captain Jamie Holderman, the IPFW women's basketball team snapped a 3-game losing streak Thursday night, defeating Quincy University. This afternoon, they're trying to make it 2 in a row as they take on Missouri St. Louis. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Maas. Welcome to IPFW basketball. I'm joined, as always, by Ryan Perrott. And Ryan, a big ball game for Jamie Holderman Thursday night.
She had an absolutely great performance, Mike, Thursday night, as you mentioned, pumping in 25 points. Second on the team in scoring behind the conference leader, Trish Fleming, who's averaging around 21, 22 points a game. Also stepping up for IPFW offensively has been Amy Gerald. She's now averaging 12 points a game, but nonetheless a great scoring performance by Jamie Thursday night.
Well, Carl Semesco was looking for a lot of offensive production today because the team they're facing, Missouri St. Louis, number 2 in the conference in scoring defense, allowing just 67 points a contest.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough match, especially for Trish Fleming and Jamie Holderman, to see if they can get on track offensively. St. Louis, just a very good defensive team, as you mentioned, Mike, second in the conference defensively. IPFW is going to have to find a way, especially in transition, I think, to get some easy baskets.
Well, it's IPFW taking on Missouri St. Louis. That's coming up next right here on College 56 Sports.
IPFW Mastodons. First, the starters for the visiting Missouri St. Louis. At guard, a 5'7" freshman from Boonville, Indiana, number 15, Megan Mock. Also at guard, a 5'7" senior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 24, Tanisha Albert. At forward, a 5'9" junior from Owensboro, Kentucky, number 12, Brittany Dow. Also at forward, a 5'8" junior from Fairfield, Illinois, number 41, Katie Gwaltney. And in the middle, a 5'11" junior from Aveston, Illinois, number 54, Lynette Wellen. Head coach of the River Women, Shelley Etheridge. She is assisted by Melanie Marcy and Joe Kane. And now, the starters for your IPFW Mastodons. At guard, a 5'5" junior from Freeport, Illinois, number 3, Lindsay Wernz. Also at guard, a 5'10" senior from Columbia City, Indiana, number 32, Jamie Holderman. At forward, a 5'10" sophomore from Westfield, Indiana, number 25, Trish Fleming. Also at forward, a 5'10" freshman from Beech Grove, Indiana, number 44, Amy Gerald. And in the middle, a 5'10" sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 31, Tiara Dudley. Head coach of the Dons is Carl Semesco. He is assisted by Bob Bolden.
Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. This is Mike Maas along with Ryan Perrott calling the action in this afternoon's women's basketball game featuring the River Women of the University of Missouri St. Louis and the Mastodons of IPFW. A telecast that is brought to you in part by Pizza Hut of Canterbury, featuring famous Pizza Hut pizza. Ryan Perrott, we mentioned a few moments ago in the pregame opening that the Dons got 25 points out of Jamie Holderman Thursday night, and they snapped their 3-game losing streak. They're taking on a team today that is a tough foe in Missouri St. Louis. They're 8-6 on the year. What do you have to do to win this ball game?
Well, it's a very tough matchup for IPFW. I think it was nice to see IPFW get off the schneid Thursday night against Quincy. I think defense, their interior defense, especially collapsing on any penetration or ball inside, can give IPFW the advantage.
We're underway. Tap controlled by IPFW in the home white and blue trim. Missouri St. Louis red with gold and white trim.
And Missouri St. Louis right now in a 2-3 zone. A new look against IPFW's offense.
Inside, Tiara Dudley spin, shot off the glass, no! Rebound controlled by Tanisha Albert, the leading scorer for Missouri St. Louis at nearly 14 points a game. So the River Women have their first possession of the afternoon. IPFW playing in the man-to-man defense.
Nice pressure on the ball.
Cross-court pass. 8 on the shot.
There's that weak side help I'm talking about. Not
and in.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Tanisha Albert, and St. Louis has a 2-0 lead. And just underway here at the Gates Sports Center. Glad you're with us here on College 56 Sports. Lindsey Wurst, long range, off the back of the rim, no. Rebound controlled by Albert, and here comes Missouri St. Louis, or UMSO as we like to call them. Perimeter passing by the River Women.
Little motion offense here, screening away.
Whistle underneath. Whistle, holding foul going to be called on IPFW. Tiara Dudley guilty of the infraction. Her first of the afternoon. And St. Louis will inbound it underneath. Katie Gwaltney looking for someone. Whistle. Instead of, they're going to call traveling.
Call a travel there.
Interesting, you had two officials. One did call the travel, the other looked like she might call the personal foul. In any event, IPFW has the basketball, looking for their first points of the afternoon. Trish Fleming, leading scorer in the conference at over 20 points a game. Kicks it out to Geralds for three. Yes, Amy Geralds gets IPFW on the board.
Great open jump shot there by Amy Geralds. She stepped up her game offensively. Now averaging around 12 points a game for IPFW. Much needed 12 points too for the Dons.
St. Louis. Dowell. Inside feed. Turnaround shot. Up. Missed by Lynette Wallen. Got a whistle and a foul on St. Louis. Lynette Wallen guilty of pushing off, trying for the offensive rebound.
A little frustration foul there on Wellen. She thought she should have had that little bunny with the left hand. Fortunately decided to take it out on Lindsey Wurst.
Team fouls even at one apiece. Back comes IPFW. St. Louis in that matchup 2-3 zone. Fleming inside the paint, pops it off the back of the rim, no good. Geralds with the offensive board, shot no good. Rebound well on the Dons, had two cracks at it, Ryan.
Two good looks for IPFW inside. Unfortunately, they couldn't convert. They're going to have to be able to put points on the board, especially against this very good defensive team of Missouri St. Louis.
Cross-court pass now over to Dowell. Pass picked off by Wernst, intended for Wellen. IPFW on the run. Captain Jamie Halderman misses, gets her own rebound, however. Tries a three. Bounces, no good. Rebound, Geralds. Amy puts it up and in, count it, and she's fouled. Let's see. Foul is going to be called on Megan Mount.
I love the tenacity, Mike, of IPFW on the offensive glass. They're getting their bodies in there, both Tiara Dudley and Amy Geralds. That time Geralds was rewarded.
And she cleanly makes the free throw to complete another three-point play. She has all 6 Mastodon points. And the Dons lead 6-2 with under 17 minutes to go here in the first half.
Scoring wasn't a problem for IPFW when they're in that 3-game losing streak, Mike. I mean, they scored 86, 65, and 51 points respectively. It's been their defense, something that Coach Carl Simasco has been working on over the last week or so.
And that defense forced a traveling violation on the River Woman. That's 3 turnovers, I believe, on St. Louis. Substitution for UMSO. Number 44, Lindsay Brefeld, a 5'8 senior, checks in the lineup. And up the court comes Lindsay Wernst and her Mastodons. Geralds fakes the 3, kicks it out. Fleming for 3. Yes. Second try for IPFW. Fleming on the board now with 3, and it's a 9-2 ball game.
Nice open jump shot there by Trish Fleming. She leads IPFW in 3-point shooting percentage at about 43 a game.
Albert, watched by Fleming, one-on-one. Albert drives right by her, lays it up and in.
Quick first step by Albert. You can see why she leads Missouri St. Louis in scoring. Just an explosive very first step went around Trish Fleming there to the baseline.
9 for the score. Geralds, another 3 ball.
Wow.
Amy Geralds, 9 of the 12 points here, and we've played just under 4.5 minutes. And St. Louis calls a 30-second timeout. Let's take a break. 12-4 our score. IPFW on top. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
I really wanted to go for an Indiana University business degree.
But with housing and tuition, it really adds up, and the money just wasn't there to go away to college.
And with a 2-year-old, my housing options were kind of limited anyway.
And the truth is, I really wanted to keep my job and stay close to home.
Going to IPFW made all of that possible.
IPFW? It's the best choice I ever made.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. The right school, right here, right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Moss, Ryan Perrott with you. 15:38 left in half number one. And right now, Ryan, it looks more like the Amy Gerald show. She's got 9 of the IPFW 12 points.
Yeah, she's 2 from 2 from behind the arc, 3 of 4 from the field. I mean, IPFW just shooting the lights out so far against this 2-3 zone against Missouri St. Louis, shooting 60% from behind the arc, Mike, and that's such a good statistic offensively for IPFW.
Well, Missouri St. Louis puts the ball in play. Comes Megan Mock. Be picked up at midcourt by Lindsay Wernst. Forcing a shot up, partially blocked, was Brefeld. IPFW comes down with the ball.
Now Missouri St. Louis has gone to man-to-man defense.
Fleming for 3. No. Rebound fought for, controlled by Albert. She out-hustled Dudley to the ball.
Oh, great ball pass.
Riverwoman on the break. Up and in is Lynette Wellen for her first points of the day.
Nice. Mike. Nice fast break basketball. That time, little different look now defensively for IPFW. Missouri St. Louis going man-to-man.
Holderman up top, watched by Wellen. Jamie Holderman for 3. Yes. The captain with her first points of the afternoon. 4th tray for IPFW. 15-6.
Yeah, 4 of 7, Mike, behind the arc. 57%. Big lead early for IPFW.
Inside is Wellen, kicks it back out. Left hand 3-point shot, no. Missed by Brefeld. Rebound IPFW, and here comes Jamie Holderman. Controlled fast break, so to speak. Get into their half-court offense now. Gerald's inside, drives up, no. Rebound loose, Gerald's picks it up. Another crack for the Dons. Fleming turnaround jumper off the glass and in.
Sweet move by Trish Fleming that time. Little fadeaway turn with the kiss off the glass. 2 other points for her.
And at 13:44 to go, it's 17-6. Dons on top. With some offensive prowess, to say the least. Brefeld, baseline jumper, no. Rebound controlled by Geralds. Dons clicking on all cylinders right now. Inside, Trish Fleming in the paint, spins, kicks it back out.
I love the movement, Mike, of IPFW offensively. A lot of ball movement.
10 on the shot clock. Halderman. Fleming. 5 on the shot clock. Trish kicks it out. Worst baseline jumper. No. Albert with the rebound. Here comes Missouri St. Louis. Not the best shot selection, perhaps. Brefeld off the glass and in. Lindsay gets her first basket of the day. Cuts the lead to 17-8. As we are under 13 minutes in a fast-moving first half of play.
Missouri St. Louis now back to the zone, 2-3. Little match and mix here.
Gerald's looking for someone down low. Inside, pass intended for Dudley. Knocked away off of Jamie Halderman's foot, out of bounds. And we have our first media timeout of the afternoon, so let's take a break. 12:25 left here in the first half. Our score, IPFW 17, Missouri St. Louis 8. You are watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Each year, IPFW faces two key legislative issues, equity funding and technology funding. Although we're a state-assisted university, the funding IPFW receives from the state puts us near the bottom of the list of public educational institutions. Join me this month on IPFW Up Close for a look at what can be done to improve the equity of funding for Northeast Indiana's largest public university. That's IPFW Up Close Sundays at noon and Fridays at 8 p.m. on College Access Channel 56.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. 12:25 left in the first half, and Ryan, IPFW is playing as well offensively as perhaps we've seen all year long.
I think they've gotten their boost of confidence back against their match Thursday against Quincy with the victory there, 64-51. Not that IPFW was playing badly during their three-match losing streak. It was just that, hey, they couldn't get any of the, the ball, so to speak, to bounce their way. And ever since Thursday, they're playing with more intensity, more tempo, more spirit. And Coach Zmesko likes what he sees, I'm sure.
Back to the action, St. Louis with the basketball. Notice Becky Schuster in the lineup for IPFW along with Shani Smith. Shani guarding Leah Bomey, I should say, who's in the lineup. Bomey, three-point shot. Off the iron, no. Fight for the rebound. Schuster takes it away from Albert, and now we got a whistle and a traveling call called on IPFW.
Two turnovers back-to-back there by Holderman. The defender was in her face as she went to turn around and decided to take a step instead of taking the ball to the floor.
So St. Louis will inbound it. Oh, look at the battle going on between Albert and Schuster underneath. Welland. Don's playing with some aggressiveness on the defense, which is, as you said earlier, Ryan, what Carlos Zmesko wants to see. Brafeld for three, no. Rebound pulled down by Fleming. Trish averaging over 5 boards a game, 10th in the conference coming in. Jamie Holderman for three, no. Rebound controlled by Tanisha Albert, and here comes the River Woman. Lynette Welland cut off at the pass, kicks it back out. Shot missed by Bomey, picked off by IPFW, and here comes Jamie Holderman.
Perimeter shooting right now for the River Women, not too particularly well.
Whistle, little reach-in foul called on St. Louis. Looks like it's going to be on, well, let's see who they are calling it on. They're going to call it on Leah Bomey, her first, team third. Mastodons trying to stretch out a 9-point lead, and there's Lindsay Wernz guilty of the turnover. Looks at the official and says, what?
Clear travel violation that time. She dragged her left foot. She hesitated to skip past that time.
Going to get a substitution for St. Louis, number 52, Krista Longseth, a 6'3 junior, makes her first appearance, and she replaces Lindsay Brafeld.
Big height advantage there for Missouri St. Louis.
St. Louis was like IPFW in the fact they only have one senior on the squad. We have two.
Yeah.
So a young team. Mastodons stretching their man-to-man defense. Or woman-to-woman, whatever you wish to call it. Cross-court pass intended for Welland. Knocked away and picked up by Fleming. Unforced turnover on the part of St. Louis. Jamie Holderman wide open for three. Money in the bank for Jamie Holderman. She now has 6 points. And it's a 20-8 lead with 10.5 minutes to go here in a half.
IPFW blazing from the outside with their field goal shooting. Remarkable shooting performance.
Albert, watched by Wernst. Tanisha takes it down low, stops, pops, misses. Rebound, Holderman. Don's on the run. Long pass down floor to Smith, and Shaney is fouled by Katie Gwaltney. Katie's first, team's fourth. Laura Douglas making her first appearance of the day for IPFW, the senior replacing Trish Fleming. And I know we mentioned it last week against Indianapolis, Ryan. Laura Douglas, a welcome addition to this basketball team.
Absolutely, nice added addition, extra body. One who likes to grind inside, get the so-called dirty work points.
Pass intended for Schuster, knocked away and picked up by Longseth, and here comes Missouri St. Louis. Double post offense, interesting. Albert on the wing. Inside, Wellen spins,
Nice
shoots,
move up
and
and
hits.
under.
Lynette Wellen with their second field goal. Makes it a 20-10 contest with 9.5 minutes to go.
I think that's what Missouri St. Louis is going to have to do, try to pound the ball inside. You got a nice height advantage in there, 6'3" and 5'11".
Smith nearly traveled again. Jamie inside. Laura Douglas spin, kicks it back out. 15 in the shot clock. Holderman for three. No. Long rebound. Fought for, goes out of bounds. They say last touch by Jamie Halderman. And that brings us to another media timeout. So we will take another break. With 9:07 left here in the first half at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center, our score stands IPFW 20, Missouri St. Louis 10. You are watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
I wanted to study engineering so I could get a better job without giving up the job I've already got.
Of course, getting a degree without going into debt was pretty high on my list too.
And I wanted the kind of education that I could only get in smaller classes with the professor's full attention.
IPFW offered me all of that. And the Purdue engineering degree is going to look pretty good on my resume.
Going to IPFW is the best choice I ever made.
IPFW, the right school, right here, right now.
We are back here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Maas, Ryan Perrott, happy to be bringing you the action between IPFW and Missouri St. Louis. Ryan, a look at the numbers at the 9:07 mark.
Oh, both teams shooting around 41%. IPFW 7 of 17 from the floor. The University of Missouri St. Louis, they're 5 of 12 from the floor, but the only difference, rebounding and three-point shooting. IPFW 5 of 10 from behind the arc. Missouri St. Louis 0 of 2.
Makes a difference as we get back into the action. River women with the basketball. Leah Bomey kicks it up top. Interesting, St. Louis playing that double high post offense.
Trying to get the mismatch underneath.
Bomey hits the baseline jumper. Lisa's first points of the day. Makes it 20-12. Back comes IPFW. Douglas trying to get inside, ball taken away. Picked off, now controlled by Wellen. Here comes St. Louis, down by 8. Albert looking for the wheel, spinning wheel to get somebody open down low. Inside feed, shot up, no, by Longseth, but Chris just fouled and she'll head to the line shooting 2. Foul, I believe, is on Lindsay Wernst, and that is Lindsay's first, only the team's second. And that's something that Carl Semesco likes to see. His ball club not in foul trouble here with 8:11 to go in a half.
Absolutely, especially with the limited amount of bodies. Keep the fouls low.
First free throw by Krista Longseth gets the friendly bounce up and in. Substitutions, Trish Fleming and Amy Gerald's back in the lineup, replacing Lindsay Wernst and Shani Smith.
Krista Longseth, a 67% free throw shooter. We'll look at the junior from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin.
Second one rims out, picked off by Douglas. Here come the Dons. Gerald's for 3. Off the mark, Dudley looks, tries to get the offensive board, but it goes out of bounds. Ball goes over to St. Louis, and you can tell there, Amy Gerald's had some time to rest on the bench, and the focus wasn't quite there in place.
Yeah, a little cold sitting on the bench for a quick breather. First shot, a little air ball.
So here come the visitors from St. Louis. Ball knocked away by Douglas, pass intended for Gewaltney. River women I should say, to inbound it if I can get my tongue untied. Tanisha Albert, cross-court pass. Three-point shot up, no. By Bomey, here comes IPFW on the run. Whistle, ball kicked, reset the shot clock. It'll be IPFW basketball, allows Megan Mock to come back in the lineup. Also for St. Louis, Christy Lane, a 6-foot sophomore, and number 50, Kelly Blunt, a 6-foot junior, make their first appearances of the afternoon. Dons have it, 7.5 minutes to go. They're up by 7, 20-13 here at the Gate Center. Glad you could join us. As IPFW looking for win number 12 on the season. Pass thrown away, intended for Holderman. Jamie, 5'10", needed to be 6'3".
IPFW 6 turnovers so far here in the first half.
Little by little, St. Louis has come back. Oh, nearly a travel there by Mock, but no call. Megan, watched by Amy Geralds.
Nice defense on the inside by Laura Douglas there.
10 in the shot clock. Holding foul going to be called on Laura, I believe. Jostling for position. Her first, team third. Shani Smith back in the lineup for Laura Douglas.
Laura that time trying to friend Krista Longseth, giving away a couple inches on the height advantage.
Gwaltney inbounding the ball. Three-point shot up and in by Christy Lane. First tray of the day for St. Louis, and it comes at a great time for them as it makes the score 20-16. Dons have cooled off. They got to get back on the hot side. The lead has been shrunk to 4. Ball knocked away, picked up by St. Louis. Shot and missed, however, by Gwaltney, but we got a whistle underneath. Foul going to be called on Kelly Blunt. Her first, team 5th.
Well, Gwaltney that time just threw up a brick on the open layup. That's the way that Missouri St. Louis has gotten back into this game. Turnovers on IPFW, that's their 7th now. Going to be able to handle the ball here against the zone. Try to get some penetration, kicking out to the open shooter, like right here.
Jamie Holderman with the 3-ball, in and out, no good. Fleming fights for the rebound, along with Blunt. And let's see who they call. They're going to call the foul on Blunt. Kelly picks up 2 quick ones. She'll take a seat in the bench as Lynette Wellen comes back in the lineup for St. Louis. IPFW to inbound it. Shani Smith, the triggerman. Lob pass to Fleming. Nearing the 6-minute mark, 20-16 our score. IPFW on top and with the basketball. Trying to free somebody down low. Fleming off the glass and in. Trish Fleming scores her 7th point.
Great penetration there by Trish Fleming. That's what you need against the zone.
Quickly comes St. Louis. Nice turnaround jumper by Longseth. Krista now with 3 points, and the River women are starting to warm up from the field. Baselines. Fleming looks for some help. Shani Smith for 3, no. Rebound knocked out of bounds. They say last touched by Amy Geralds. So the ball goes over to St. Louis.
Nice try on the glass that time. IPFW 15 rebounds. 7 of them offensive here in the first half.
And you see the visitors in the red trying to cut even more into a 4-point deficit. Inside, Wellen off the glass and in. Penetration by Lynette Wellen. She now has a half a dozen. Don't look now, but St. Louis is within 2 at the 5-minute mark. Trish Fleming, baseline jumper off the rim. Nice play by Holderman, knocking that ball out, and IPFW retains possession. Need a bucket right now.
IPFW needs to settle things down here offensively, get a good look at a shot. Nice
inside,
pass.
Dudley off the iron, no! Rebound picked up by Geralds. Smith for 3.
There we go.
Shani Smith then to score, putting her first points of the day.
Great play by Tiara Dudley, tapping her miss out to the open man. That time ball kicked into Shaney Smith, who knocked down the tray.
Weldon comes right back, and Lynette all of a sudden has 8 points. She's hit back-to-back bank shots off the glass from inside the paint. That's a concern for IPFW.
Well, you're at her mercy. She stands 6'3".
Waterman comes back with a 3-ball, no good. Rebound picked off by 5'7" freshman Megan Mall. 3-point shot in and out by Lane, picked off by Fleming. Don's on the run. Jamie Gerald kicks it out on the side. Jamie wide open for 3. In and out, no. Rebound Welland for St. Louis. Jamie had a good look, just didn't go down.
IPFW's shooting has gone down a little bit now, 9 of 26 from the floor, 35%.
Again, that double high post offense for St. Louis. Ball knocked away by Gerald. Amy, she controls it, lays it up off the glass and in. Big first half for Amy Gerald, I should say. She now has 10 points.
Her first buckets in quite some time.
More importantly, kicks the lead back up to 5. 3 minutes to go. Defensive, good play by Shaney Smith. Calls a jump ball and also calls for another timeout. So we will take a break. 3:01 left until halftime. The Dons are up by 5, 27-22. Gives us a chance to invite you to learn more about Mastodon sports in season by tuning into Mastodon Spotlight each Wednesday and Friday evening here on College 56. Yours truly will review the week's sports activities, look at game footage, and talk with players and coaches. That's Mastodon Spotlight, Wednesday evenings at 8:30 and Friday evenings at 9:30, right here on College 56. Well, Ryan, we're at 3 minutes and 1 second to go until halftime. The Dons got out to the big lead, led by, I believe, as many as 12 at 20-8. But St. Louis has kept their poise, and they've I haven't seen it in a long time, but a double high post offense when you get what we call a carousel or a revolving door has opened up some play inside for St. Louis, and Lynette Welland especially has taken advantage of it.
Absolutely, and what IPFW has to realize, especially when you have a 6'3" and 6-footer out on the floor that like Missouri St. Louis has, is that, hey, you're going to draw more attention than the bigger players. And right now they're able to kick the ball outside and get some penetration underneath and making down some shots. They're 10 of 20, Missouri St. Louis is from the floor. IPFW is slowly drift away. They're 10 of 27. So what IPFW is going to have to understand is, hey, let's get back here defensively. Let's get some good inside interior help defensively and see if we can get some pressure on them.
Weldon cut off at the pass, double team, kicks it back out. 3-point shot on the way, short by Gwaltney, and here comes IPFW with the rebound.
That's what IPFW needed right there defensively.
Shaney Smith, in and out, no good. Loose ball picked up by Albert. Shot just wouldn't go. Long pass, Welland could not control the pass. Out of bounds, break for IPFW. So IPFW has the basketball with 2:39 left here in a half. And they're going to try to stretch their lead out. Right now it stands at 5 at 27-22. Cross-court pass to Shaney Smith by Holderman. 12 left on the shot clock. Whistle.
Travel.
Trish Fleming called for that travel. Doesn't make the coach happy.
IPFW a little confused on that offensive set against the 2-3 zone.
Here comes the River Women. Longstaff watched by Dudley. Inside. Welland, man, traveled.
Yep.
They had a choice, a travel, an offensive shiver, what I call a forearm, could have been an offensive foul. And this time they called the violation rather than the foul, so turnover St. Louis, ball goes over to IPFW as we're inside 2 minutes. Fleming inside, ball knocked away, but she kicks it back. Shaney Smith, 3, no. Offensive board, Halderman has stepped on the end line.
Forced shot that time by Shaney Smith.
As you get a good look again at Brittany Dowell, 5'9" junior, coming back in the lineup for St. Louis. 1:45 and counting left until halftime. IPFW leads 27-22.
Again, I like this offensive set now. The ball goes through the big men, big women, if you will.
Three-point shot short, picked off by Shani Smith.
Not a shot that head coach Shelley Etheridge wanted of Umsel.
Fleming for three. Trish Fleming now in double figures with 10 points. And the lead back up to 8 at 30-22 with 1:18 to go.
Well, and again, nice straight-up jump shot there.
Nice 16-foot jumper for Lynette Welland, and she's in double figures with 10 points. 30-24 as we near the 1 minute mark here and a half. Inside Fleming, ball knocked away. Dudley! Should have said knocked away. Nice feed, Fleming to Tiara Dudley, and Tiara gets her first points of the day.
Great pass, Shani Smith, Trish Fleming, Tiara Dudley. Great ball movement. That's how you beat a zone right there.
Welland kicks it back out. Cross-court pass inside. Ball knocked away by Dudley. Good play, Tiara. Denying Crystal Longset the ball inside.
IPFW can now hold for the last shot. But a 3-second differential game clock to shot clock.
See if they hold it for one shot or if they get the open shot, if they'll take it. 15 in the shot clock.
Now they're going to get a good one here, especially against the zone 2-3. Work the ball around.
Shani Smith, 7 on the shot clock. Fleming, baseline, kicks it out. Shani Smith for 3. Yes, with 4 seconds to go. Nice clock management.
Yep.
St. Louis unable to get a shot off as the buzzer goes off to end the first half of play. So as the teams head into the locker room, IPFW enjoying a 35-24 advantage.
Great last possession right there by IPFW. Keeping it down for the final shot, 3-second differential. They got the open look. Shani Smith knocking down the three.
It is halftime here at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. We're going to step aside for a few minutes. You're going to get a chance to see what else is going on here at IPFW. And then we'll come back with more IPFW basketball. As, again, our halftime score, IPFW 35, Missouri St. Louis 24. You're watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Years ago, John Knight joined the Department of Consumer and Family Sciences at IPFW. He developed an innovative curriculum which allows his hotel restaurant students to gain invaluable experience.
That allows the students to get into the community and be an outreach, bringing industry and education together.
His students partake in serving and managing at several area hotels and restaurants for one night through each semester.
I always say Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. And so we really care about the customer and the guest, and we teach that in the classroom, and the students are exposed to all areas of hospitality.
John's knowledge and enthusiasm for teaching gives his students many advantages, including the opportunity to travel.
We've had students travel really worldwide through these opportunities that are afforded, because we do make some money when the sponsorships are healthy and the dinners go well.
This has been an IPFW Faculty Minute. The right school, right here, right now.
I wanted to study engineering so I could get a better job without giving up the job I've already got.
Of course, getting a degree without going into debt was pretty high on my list, too.
And I wanted the kind of education that I could only get in smaller classes with the professor's full attention.
IPFW offered me all of that. And the Purdue engineering degree is going to look pretty good on my resume.
Going to IPFW is the best choice I ever made.
IPFW, the right school, right here, right now.
I would really encourage any potential student at IPFW to get involved.
to see this as their campus, that it's not just a place to go to class and leave.
You would not believe how much opportunity there is for you here at IPFW, for people to help you in all different aspects of your education. There's just loads and loads of opportunities for you to succeed at IPFW.
When a student exits IPFW with a degree, they can be secure with the knowledge that they have a world-class degree that will be recognized by any employer.
IPFW has a very nice disabled student services program. They are providing many great adaptive aids for all sorts of disabilities.
Originally, I chose IPFW because I wasn't ready to leave home. I wanted to stay at home and live at home and try college and get used to it and then move on. But after a year here, you couldn't get me to leave.
I've got 2 kids, and IPFW's childcare is affordable and it's flexible. It really works out well.
I really wanted to go for an Indiana University business degree.
But with housing and tuition, it really adds up, and the money just wasn't there to go away to college.
And with a 2-year-old, my housing options were kind of limited anyway.
And the truth is, I really wanted to keep my job and stay close to home.
Going to IPFW made all that possible.
IPFW? It's the best choice I ever made.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. The right school, right here, right now.
The Royal Dons Athletic Association would like to thank you for joining us and trust that you are enjoying this evening's telecast. As Director of Athletics at IPFW, I want you to know firsthand that the student athletes and myself appreciate your taking time to be a part of this contest. Recently, Chancellor Wartell notified the NCAA of our desire to move our program to Division I status. Over the next few months, you will be both hearing and reading more about this transition and how you can become personally involved. I would like to invite you to join us each Wednesday evening for the Mastodon Spotlight Coaches Hour. This will provide you information on the coaches, student athletes, and up-to-date progress on each team. We believe our student athletes' prowess on the courts and field is matched by their academic achievement in the classroom. It is our pledge to you that this dual responsibility is our continuing goal as we enter Division I competition. For more information on how you can become involved in the Royal Dons Athletic Association and in the life of the university and our student athletes, please call the number listed on your screen. Thank you again for your consideration of involvement with the Royal Dons Athletic Association and Mastodon excitement.
Do you like that sense of personal achievement?
That chance to make a difference? That chance to make friends and network with other professionals?
Then take that chance by serving your alumni association as a volunteer.
Your alma mater needs you.
You really can make an impact.
It's that good, and it's that simple. Come
on
back.
We need you. Do you like that sense of personal achievement?
That chance to make a difference? That chance to make friends and network with other professionals?
Then take that chance by serving your alumni association as a volunteer.
Your alma mater needs you.
You really can make an impact.
It's that good, and it's that simple. Come on back.
We need you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Mike Maas and Ryan Perrott with you, where it is halftime of our contest between the River Women of Missouri St. Louis and the Mastodons of IPFW. And Ryan, first half belonged pretty much to the IPFW Mastodons as they enjoy a 35-24 lead.
Yeah, it was sort of a roller coaster because they came out hot from the beginning, blazing from the outside, especially the three-point line. They were 5 of 10. Then they sort of got in a little lull, and that's when Missouri St. Louis made their run, cut the points, I believe, down to 4 is the closest that they got. And then IPFW turned it up a notch again and now lead by 11.
Let's look at some of the numbers.
Absolutely. IPFW from the field is shooting 39%. They're 13 of 33. From behind the arc, as I mentioned, they were 5 of 10 early on, but now they're 8 of 19 for 42%. Believe it or not, IPFW only shot 1 foul shot. Mike, you mentioned in between the intermission, between the two teams, 3 foul shots the entire first half. So that's kind of an unbelievable number there. IPFW out rebounding UMSL 21-13. IPFW 8 offensive rebounds, which is a great sign on the glass. The turnovers are pretty even. IPFW has 8. UMSL has 9. Assists, though, I like it. IPFW 9 to St. Louis, Missouri's 4.
Now, individually, leading scorer for IPFW, Amy Geralds, the redshirt freshman from Ohio. 4 of 7 from the field, including 2 of 3 long range. And she has the only free throw for the Mastodons. She has 11 points, 10 points for Trish Fleming, 2 3-pointers and 2 deuces. 6 points apiece from Shani Smith, both on 3-point shots, and Jamie Holderman, both on 3-point shots. 2 points for Tiara Dudley, with Lindsay Wernst, Becky Schuster, and Laura Douglas playing but not scoring as of yet. For Missouri St. Louis, they are led by Lynette Welland. Inside, Lynette has 10 points, 5 of 6 field goals. She's the only one in double figures for St. Louis. 4 points for normal leading scorer Tanisha Albert. Good defensive job by the Dons there. 3 points apiece from Christy Lane and Krista Longseth. And 2 points apiece from Leah Bomey and Lindsay Berfeld, with Brittany Dowell, Megan Malk, Katie Gewaltney, and Kelly Blunt playing but not scoring. Nobody in foul trouble. And in fact, that's ironic for IPFW. I know it's always a concern. Only 3 team fouls, 1 apiece for Lindsay Wernst, Tiara Dudley, and Laura Douglas. For St. Louis, with only 6 fouls, Kelly Blunt picked up 2 in about 15 game seconds, and 4 players with 1 apiece. So the Dons have this lead. They have always played well in the first half of just about every ball game this year. What do you see, fearless prognosticator, in the second 20 minutes of action?
Well, I just looked at, obviously, you know that the University of Missouri St. Louis, they're going to try to pick up the tempo a little bit, especially defensively against the perimeter shooting. Look for them, of course, to keep mixing and matching defensively with that 2-3 zone and man-to-man. If IPFW continues to shoot well from the outside, I mean, they're not shooting a bad percentage, 40% from the floor. They continue to shoot well, distribute the basketball, get some good offensive sets and looks. They should be fine. Of course, defensively, I think they've done a great job, if not an outstanding job, on Tanisha Albert. They've shut her down. Tanisha averaging about 14 points a game. She only has 4 in the entire first half, so IPFW has done a very good job there. You know what they're going to have to be, of course, now concerned about is the height advantage inside with Longseth and Welland, because I think the offensive sets now for Missouri St. Louis will go through those 2 players.
Well, you got a good look at the respective coaches. Carl Semesko, in his second year here at IPFW. Here he's got a record of 24-18 coming in. Overall, he has a record of 53-23. And his counterpart, Shelly Etheridge, in her 4th year with St. Louis, and she has a record of 56-42. So here we go, IPFW in the home white with the basketball. And they've got the original starters in the lineup. And the ball is taken away by St. Louis right off the bat.
There's that defensive intensity now that they've picked up.
Albert underneath, and Tanisha must have heard us talking. She got in the scoring in a hurry.
Well, all great scorers know how to find a way, even if after a little slump. Tanisha right away, and now a little trapping half court.
Let's see how IPFW responds. You had to figure there would be some adjustments. Ball knocked off the leg of St. Louis, but Wernst picks it up. 3 on the shot clock. Inside, Gerald's baseline jumper gets the friendly bounce. Go ahead, Ryan.
Sorry, Mike. IPFW is just going to have to keep their composure. This, of course, had to be expected. I'm sure that Coach Mesko had told, hey, they're going to pick up their defensive intensity against us. They're just going to have to keep their composure offensively.
Albert, watched by Holderman. Inside feed, ball knocked away by Dudley. Pass intended for Longseth. Good play by Tiara.
Great weak side help by Dudley. That's what you need.
Lindsay Wernst from long distance, yes. Lindsay on the board now with 3 points. And the lead is back up to 14 now at 40-26 with 18.5 minutes to go. Albert driving on Holderman. Pops, shoots, misses. Ball out of bounds. I believe they're going to say it's still St. Louis ball. St. Louis thought there might have been a foul.
Albert trying to create off the dribble. Trying to be a little more aggressive here in the early goings of the second half.
Katie Gewaltney looking to get somebody open. Finds Albert.
There she is.
Tanisha puts it up and in, and just like that, she goes from 4 points to 8 points in less than 2 minutes.
Tanisha, although she only had 4 points in the first half, she led the team in rebounding with 6, all defensively.
Fleming kicks it back out. Gerald's Inside, Haldeman with the left hand, no. Rebound Longseth, here come the River Women on the run. Albert on the wing, picked up by Haldeman. Waltney takes it inside, off the glass, no! Fight for the rebound, and we got a whistle underneath. Tiara Dudley picks up her second personal foul. First team foul here in the second half. St. Louis will inbound it. Katie Gowaltney once again trying to find somebody open. And we got a reach-in foul on Trish Fleming. So, Ryan, we talked about 3 team fouls in the entire first half for IPFW. And here with less than 2.5 minutes gone, to get back-to-back fouls. Jostling underneath, Longseth and Dudley. Krista left hands it up and in. She now has 5 points.
Well, she gets the ball that far deep underneath the basket, so almost an automatic 2.
The lead is cut to 10, 40-30 as we near the 17-minute mark in a fast-moving game. Perimeter passing on the part of IPFW with 8 in the shot clock. Wernst looking for somebody. 5 on the clock. Fleming forces a 3-pointer. No. Dudley with the offensive board.
Nice job by Dudley with the rebound.
And IPFW can reset the offense. Jamie Hardeman for 3. No good, but we got a whistle underneath. And Gowaltney is called for pushing off underneath. For Katie, that is personal foul number 2, team foul number 1 here in the second half. Fleming with the 12-footer, no! Nice play, Wernst kicks it back out to Geralds, and IPFW reloads.
Oh, nice ball movement there.
No foul on the shot by Wernst. St. Louis comes up with a basketball. They'll try to cut the lead into single digits. Wellen. Inside, off the glass, no. Longseth misses the putback. Fleming comes up with a big rebound for IPFW.
Should have been an easy 2 there for Longseth. Just got a little too anxious. Overshot the rim.
Double team, and now we got a whistle underneath. And Longseth is called for a pushing foul. So Crystal Longseth has her first foul of the afternoon.
Well, we're making up for the fouls here in the second half, that's for sure.
16 minutes to go. IPFW with a 10-point lead in the basketball.
4 fouls in 4 minutes by both teams.
Fleming had an inside shot, passed it off to Haldeman. Shot blocked by Longseth. Picked up by Wernst. Geralds for 3, but we got a whistle and a push-off foul on IPFW. And that is on Tiara Dudley, and that is foul number 3, and that'll bring Becky Schuster off the bench. As the one person who is foul prone, Tiara Dudley has picked up 2 quick ones here in a half, and she now takes a seat with 3 personal fouls.
Well, Tiara Dudley standing 5'10", guarding Krista Longseth, number 52 of Missouri St. Louis, who's 6'3", so giving up about 5 or so inches.
Tanisha Albert cut off at the pass, nearly throws it away. Retrieved, however.
The height advantage, almost prone to be sort of a hacker underneath.
5 on the shot clock. Loose ball.
Nice defense there.
Whistle, they're going to call foul, I believe, on Megan Malk. She was going for that loose ball.
Nice defensive stand there by IPFW. Players falling to the floor. Something coaches love to see.
For Megan Malk, that is her second, team third.
IPFW up 10 here now. Umsel in this 1-3-1 sort of half-court trapping zone.
See how IPFW attacks it. And that may be the key word, attack.
Nice spread here by IPFW.
Gerald's top of the key. 3 on the shot clock. Wernst inside the three-point arc and makes the nice jumper as the horn was about to go off for a shot clock violation.
Nice ball fake by Wernz that time, going baseline, freeing herself up for the open jump shot.
Makes it 42-30. Albert driving on Holderman, stops, pops, and misses. Longstaff with the offensive board, however, and Krista puts it back up and in. She now has 7 points. Again, a 10-point lead, 14-10 to go. Timeout at the next dead ball. We are under the 15-minute mark. Gerald's for three, no. Rebound pulled down by Malk. Ball knocked out of bounds. Pass intended for Albert, knocked away by Lindsey Wernst, and that brings us to our first media timeout of the second half. Student host Dan Westrick and student producer Alicia Bradley bring you weekly Mastodon highlights and scores in 10 minutes or less each Tuesday and Thursday evening at 5:50 and 8:50 right here on College 56. Ryan Perrott, 13:57 to go. It's been a little ragged as far as the offensive end goes for both teams. Tanisha Albert's gotten on track for St. Louis, but right now the lead is at 10. What do you think Carlos Samisko is telling his troops?
Well, right now he's giving a little offensive scheme to attack this sort of 1-3-1 trapping zone that the University of Missouri St. Louis is throwing at them. What you need is about a 2-1-2 sort of setup. You need a player in the middle. Right now IPFW is not balancing the court really well. Obviously he's mentioning to his ladies that, hey, we need some good clock management. We do have the lead, but we still have to play basketball, still be aggressive, still try to look for those open jump shots and take those open jump shots. Obviously defensively right now, number 52 for Missouri St. Louis, Krista Longstaff is having a nice game here in the second half, especially offensively. She's got 3 offensive rebounds, 6 points. They're going to have to try to shut her down defensively.
Well, we come back to play. Missouri St. Louis with the basketball. Megan Malk, the 5'7" freshman, with the basketball herself. Pushing off, as they're going to say, Longstaff pushed off of Becky Schuster to get open. And for Krista, that is her second foul.
Well, that's why she's been coming off the charts here in the second half. She's pushing off a little bit. Good call by the official.
I'll tell you, St. Louis with the height advantage, you can see why they're dangerous. Again, the trapping defense, but the Dons break it.
Plus their offense goes through Welland and
Longstaff to get the ball to Albert. Trish Fleming on the wing, double teamed. Drives baseline, now she's triple teamed.
There's that trapping. Good ball movement by IPFW.
5 on a shot clock. Lindsey Wernst off the iron, no good. Rebound controlled by IPFW, however, and they reset it. Wernst again for 3. This time she hits the back of the iron. Gewaltney picks up the rebound, and here comes St. Louis. And that Weldon trying to drive around Schuster. Kicks it out to Albert for 3, and Tanisha Albert sure knows what to do with the basketball. Her first tray of the day. She now has 11 points. The lead down to 7. 12:45 to go. 42-35.
Excuse me, Mike, and just like that, Albert's now the leading scorer for this UMSL team. She's got 11 points.
St. Louis much more aggressive on defense this half. 8 in the shot clock. Fleming with the ball. Trish takes it in, whistle, and she's called for traveling.
Yeah. It's going to be a travel. What IPFW, their trouble is right now, they're letting the shot clock get down to about 10 or 8, and then they're trying to force the issue against the zone, this trapping zone. What they're going to have to realize is, hey, we got to get the ball in a little quicker, give us ourselves a chance and opportunity to get a good look at a hoop.
Albert, watched by Jamie Holderman, wants to drive baseline. Kicks across court instead. Welland puts the shot up. No, loose ball, fought for. Longstaff dishes underneath to Welland, and Welland makes it a 42-37 contest. First points in the second half for Welland. She now has 12 in the game. And what once was a 12-point lead, now is down to 5.
PFW is going to have to attack this zone now. 10 on the shot clock.
Shani Smith kicks it out to Wernst. Fleming drives, baseline, stops, pops. No, rebound, fought for. Jump ball, and they'll say, I believe St. Louis on the alternate possession gets it. And there was a case, IPFW, Fleming had the ball late in the shot clock rotation, didn't get any help from her teammates to get somebody open.
And that causes a shooter, obviously, to force the issue, putting a little pressure on the yourself to make the shot. IPFW unable to convert there offensively.
Albert, now watched by Wernst. Tanisha fires a three, no. Shady Smith with a big rebound for IPFW. Up the court she comes. And she's guilty of taking one step too many. Turnover IPFW as you see Tiara Dudley and Amy Gerald's back in the lineup, replacing Schuster and Lindsay Wernst. So with 11:09 to go, St. Louis with the basketball, trailing by 5, 42-37. Kelly Blunt comes in now for St. Louis, replacing Krista Longseth.
There goes 3 inches. Kelly Blunt 6 feet. Longseth 6'3", so chance here for IPFW a little bit.
Three-point shot on the way, missed. But offensively, Albert gets the rebound. Mock missed a three.
Nice
Gwaltney with a nice
hesitation.
jump shot. And that's the first points of the day for Katie Gwaltney.
Great move by Gwaltney there to free herself from her defender. Able to make the 15-foot jump shot.
The lead is 3, 42-39 with 10:35 to go. Wow, ball nearly knocked away. Albert going to be called for the reach foul. And for Tanisha, that is just her first foul of the afternoon. 5th team foul. Amy Geralds to inbound it right in front of our bench here.
Now man-to-man.
Ironically, IPFW living on the long ball in the first half, not making a three-pointer shot here in the second half. Geralds tries it, no. Fight for the rebound, out of bounds. They say last touch by Halderman. Ball goes over to St. Louis.
IPFW now 9 of 26 from three-point land, 35%. Unbelievable, almost more than half their shots have been three-pointers.
1 of 7 here in the second half.
Yeah, 16 of 47 from the field total.
Ball nearly taken away by IPFW. Malk has it. Loose ball inside. There's a crowd. Turnaround jumper by Wallen is good. Look what I found.
And don't look now, Mike, because it's a 1-point Don's lead.
9:40 to go. Inside, Dudley loses the ball. They say she tapped it twice. So we have a timeout on the floor. 9:33 left. Don's up by 1. Be sure to tune in to College 56 Sunday evening to see the 1954 classic film Diabolique, and I hope I pronounced that right, starring Simone Signor, Vera Clouseau, and Pierre Meurice. And if I got that right, holy cow. That's tomorrow evening, Diabolique, 9 o'clock right here on College 56. I needed my daughter for that. She's taking French here at the university. Ryan, 9:33, a totally different St. Louis ball club. Let's get a good look at Shelley Etheridge talking to her troops than what was on the floor in the first half.
Well, they've gotten back in this game, obviously, because of the defensive pressure. That trapping 1-3-1, if you will, zone half court has caused a lot of problems for IPFW offensively. And as a result, the University of Missouri St. Louis has clawed their way back, and now they're down 1 point.
Again, coming into play today, St. Louis 4-4 in the conference, 8-6 overall. IPFW 4-4 in GLVC play, and they are 11-4 overall. Right now, conference lead shared by Northern Kentucky and Bellarmine. Bellarmine was knocked off at Northern Kentucky Thursday night, 88-79. So those two teams are tied atop at 7-1. Southern Indiana and Indianapolis tied for third at 6-2, and then SIU Edwardsville is at 5-3. As we get back to action here.
Conference from top to bottom is very competitive, so close. A lot of parity between the teams.
Welland wants to drive on Fleming. Off the glass, no, fight for the loose ball. Welland gets it, puts it back up and in. And St. Louis leads for the first time in a long, long time. In fact, maybe the first time ever.
Welland just seems to be determined underneath to score points. She gets to touch the ball in almost every possession now. Here's a chance for IPFW.
Fleming baseline jumper, no good. Albert with the rebound. Momentum on the side of St. Louis right now. Ball knocked away. Good play by Dudley. Oh, who was open underneath? Shot up, missed by Blunt, but the ball's knocked out of bounds by Fleming. Good hustle by St. Louis, by Dudley rather, but St. Louis recovers and Carl Semesco calls a 30-second timeout. In October, Rob Loper won the special election to become vice president of the Indiana-Purdue Student Government Association. This month, he sits down with Dan Westrick to talk about events in the IPSGA since he was elected. That's on January's IPSGA Update, Fridays at 1 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 p.m. right here on College 56. Carl Semesco calls this timeout with 8:42 left in the contest. Obviously, he's not happy at the turn of events.
Not at all, especially from the shot selection of IPFW and defensively. Couple collapses there. I was just about to mention before that last miss by Umsel that they're shooting 20 of 42 from the floor, 48%, while IPFW 16 of 48, 33%. Unbelievable statistics there. They're only 2 of 9, however, is Missouri St. Louis from behind the arc. And they've clawed their way back into this game.
Gewaltney with the nice little jump shot.
With shots like that, the nice little mid-range jump shot, 10, 15 feet, 3-point lead.
Biggest of the game for St. Louis.
And they continue to trap defensively.
Gerald's fakes the three, pops it from 2 instead, misses. Rebound fought for, controlled by Holderman. The ball goes out of bounds.
Little turnover there, the iron unkind here in the second half for IPFW.
In fact, IPFW in 11 minutes and 43 seconds of the second half have only scored 7 points.
Compared to 17 for Missouri St. Louis. Oh, great ball rotation here.
Ball knocked away, loose ball, fought for. Picked up by Albert. Tanisha cut off the pass. Welland tries, misses, but she is fouled, and Lynette will go to the line shooting 2.
Great offensive presence there by Tanisha Albert with the dish underneath.
Fouls called on Trish Fleming. That is Trish's second. Team's 4th at the line for St. Louis. Lynette Welland, a 5'11 junior out of Aviston, Illinois.
And a 73% free throw shooter as she cans the first. Laura Douglas will check into the game for Tiara Dudley.
We've got Fleming, Shady Smith, Halderman, Laura Douglas, and Lindsay Wurst on the floor for IPFW. Welland, second free throw is good as well. St. Louis now 3 of 4 for the game at the line. And it's 47-42. St. Louis leading IPFW.
Now IPFW is going to have to play from behind. Down 5 points.
Halderman for 3. Yes!
There's a way to get it started. Jamie Halderman knocking down the tray.
First points in the second half for Jamie Halderman. Gives her 9 for the game. Cuts the lead to 2 at 47-45, under 7.5 minutes to go.
Of the 12 shots Halderman has taken from the field, 10 of them have been 3-pointers.
Speaking of 3-pointers, Gewaltney tries one, misses. Fleming with a big rebound for IPFW.
IPFW looking to push the issue, trying to make sure that the River Women don't get back in that defensive trapping mode.
Shady Smith, no, on a 3. Rebound fought for and controlled by Kelly Blunt of Missouri St. Louis. Under 7 minutes to go now. 47-45, River Women on top.
Now watch the clock management here, Missouri St. Louis, making sure that they get a good offensive set.
11 on the shot clock. Blunt, baseline jumper, no. Good defense by Laura Douglas. Ball goes out of bounds to IPFW. Good defense, Laura Douglas that time on the baseline.
Nice job by Laura, put into the game for Tiara Dudley just for that purpose, defensively.
Again, the trap put on by St. Louis. IPFW got to play hot potato, look for the open person. Jamie Holderman for three again.
From the same spot.
Back-to-back trays by the captain gives IPFW the lead once again at 48-47. Missouri St. Louis slowing the action up now as we near the 6-minute mark.
Well, part of that, too, is because Krista Longseth isn't on the floor right now. She's getting a breather.
But Wellen is, and Lynette puts it up off the glass and in. 10 second-half points. And St. Louis, I believe, calls a 30-second timeout. I want to remind you to tune into College 56 Sunday evening, February 4th at 7 p.m. to see the replay of today's women's basketball game with Missouri St. Louis. That's Sunday evening, February 4th at 7 p.m. for IPFW basketball right here on College 56. Interesting that St. Louis takes the lead and then Shelly Etheridge calls the timeout.
Yeah, part of that, of course, giving her players a lot of rest because they've been exerting a lot of energy, especially defensively with that trapping 1-3-1 zone. Just getting the players a little breather. They know they're going to have one more, at least, media timeout. Just trying to get the legs and keep her players fresh. And, of course, more breathing time for Krista Longseth.
Play about to resume. Shani Smith with the basketball for the Dons. One, two. Offense to trap put on by St. Louis. Inside, Laura Douglas spins, pops, short. Rebound controlled by Christy Lane. Waltney stops, pops, misses. Rebound knocked out of bounds. They're going to call foul on Albert, I do believe, or they're going to say she knocked it out of bounds.
Over the back foul. Yep, here it comes.
For Tanisha Albert, that is her second. Team 6. Next one in IPFW will be at the free throw line.
Tanisha Albert, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Starting to come alive here in the second half.
Shani Smith.
Now it's just a regular 2-3 zone for Missouri St. Louis.
They're going to call offensive team foul on IPFW. As they say that Laura Douglas pushed off underneath. That's Laura's second, team 5th here in the second half as Dudley comes back in replacing Laura. So with 5:15 left, 49-48 our score. The visitors from Missouri St. Louis on top. And they have the basketball. Wellen, foul line. Kicks it back out. Megan Mock from 16 feet. First points of the day for the freshman. Makes the lead 51-48.
I just like the offensive set by the River Women. Every possession will go through Wellen, or of course when Longseth is on the floor, it'll go through her.
Jamie for three, yes! Third tray for Jamie Holderman. Brings the Dons into a dead even tie, 51 apiece at 4:35 to go.
Jamie starting to find the stroke now from the three-point line.
12-footer up and in by Christy Lane. She now has 5 points. Back and forth we go. This time it's St. Louis by 2. Jamie watched a little more closely now by St. Louis. Drives this time, stops off the glass, no, rebound, Fleming up and in. Nice offensive rebound, first points in the second half for Trish Fleming. Couldn't come at a better time with just under 4 minutes to go, and it ties the game at 53.
IPFW is going to need a couple defensive stops here. See if they can get one on this possession.
Three-point shot, short by Lane. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be IPFW basketball when we come back after the final media timeout. This comes at the 3:43 mark. Let's take a break. 3:43 left. We are tied at 53 as you are watching IPFW basketball on College 56 Sports.
Do you like that sense of personal achievement?
That chance to make a difference?
That chance to make friends and network with other professionals?
Then take that chance by serving your alumni association as a volunteer.
Your alma mater needs you.
You really can make an impact.
It's that good, and it's that simple. Come on back.
We need you.
Back at the Hilliard Gate Sports Center here on the campus of IPFW. Mike Miles, Ryan Perrott with you. 3 minutes and 43 seconds left in regulation. Dare I say overtime, Ryan Perrott, as we are tied at 53.
Well, the shooting of IPFW has diminished here in the second half, going from about 40% down to 30% as we take a look.
At a replay, and I got a feeling it might be a three-point shot by Jamie Halderman.
This was the penetration there, and good ball movement of IPFW trying to combat this zone. And there it is, the three-point look of Halderman. Her third here in the second half.
She has 5 three-point field goals today for 15 points. IPFW with a basketball. Three-point shot. Trish Fleming off the iron short. Rebound, Tanisha Albert of St. Louis. Here come the River Women on the run. Three-point shot for St. Louis by Lane is short. Picked off by Shani Smith. Nice feed inside to Halderman, and Jamie couldn't hang on to the basketball.
Great look by Shani Smith underneath, just out of the reach of Halderman. Bobbled it out of bounds.
Turns the ball over to St. Louis with 3:05 to go. Again, we are tied at 53. Glad you could join us here on College 56 Sports as Shani Smith nearly knocked the ball away.
15 turnovers for IPFW, 12 for Missouri St. Louis.
Cross court pass to Lane. 10 on the shot clock. Ball inside to Albert. Spin move, shot up, no. Rebound Fleming, and she's fouled by Christy Lane. For Christy Lane, that is personal number 1 on the afternoon. More importantly, team foul number 7. So Trish Fleming is going to walk down to the other end and shoot a pair of free throws, or at least to shoot one with a bonus possible. And ironically, Ryan, this is only the second free throw attempt of the afternoon for IPFW.
Unbelievable.
With 2:40 to go, hard to believe.
They've been living and dying, if you will, from behind the three-point line this afternoon.
Fleming knocks down the first one, gives the Dons the lead. Substitution for St. Louis, Leah Bomey coming back in, replacing Katie Gowaltney.
Fleming, a 63% free throw shooter.
Going for point number 14. She gets it. IPFW now 3 of 3 at the stripe this afternoon, but more importantly, with 2:38 to go, they're up by 2, 55-53.
Of the 57 shots IPFW has taken this afternoon, 31 from behind the arc. They've made 12.
Inside feed. Now kicked it back out to Albert. She's going to try a 3, short. Johnny on the spot, however, is Kelly Blunt. She puts up the offensive rebound back up off the glass and in. And we're tied again at 55 with 2:10 to go. Jamie Halderman had the 3, didn't shoot it.
Can't stand idle, the trap will come to you. Good ball movement.
Jamie for 3. No, off the iron. Rebound, Lindsey Warren. Big offensive rebound for the Dons.
IPFW kicking out another good set. Oh, Fleming.
Taken away. Trish couldn't
turnover,
decide.
couldn't decide. Yep.
Albert with the basketball now, 1:45 to go. Albert on the wing, inside, well, and taken away by Fleming. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Trish Fleming.
Well, sort of a quick whistle that time. Nice weak side help by Fleming. And she's going to be called with the foul.
That is her 3rd, team 6th. So St. Louis will inbound it with 1:36 to go.
Coach Zmesko doesn't like that call.
Long sets back in the lineup for St. Louis. Albert to inbound. 1:36 left. Team's tied at 55. Megan Mock looking for somebody. Finds Albert on the wing.
This ball's got to go inside there to Longseth.
go weak side. Shot up, short, loose ball picked off by Shani Smith. Bomey couldn't get the jumper, whistle. Let's see who they call the foul. I'm gonna call a foul on Albert. Double foul, I believe, or is it on Holderman by herself?
Coach Smesko yelling for a call.
First I thought they called it on Albert, then I saw a 3-2 go up.
I thought it was a double foul. I think it's a double foul. Albert and Holderman.
I don't think so. Although one of the officials you can see talking with Carl Smesko. Looks like it's just going to go on Jamie Holderman, which is her first. Carl gets the explanation, and I know he's not happy with it.
Well, the refs asserting themselves here late in the ball game. I don't know what happened there underneath to cause the altercation between Albert and Fleming. Nonetheless, it'll be a 1-on-1 opportunity here for Albert.
And Tanisha knocks down the first one to give her team a lead, 56-55. 77 seconds left here in regulation. Albert misses the second, but on the spot for the rebound is Wellen. Mock for three, dagger in the heart. Mock with 5, 3 none bigger than that shot right there. 4-point lead with 1:02 to go.
Right between the eyes on that second shot opportunity for Missouri St. Louis. IPFW now is going to have to force the issue offensively.
3-point shot, Shani Smith, no, rebound underneath Holderman. Dudley, 45 seconds to go. Down by 4. Inside, Dudley kicks it back out.
1 on the shot clock.
Shot clock violation, did not hit the rim. Turnover, IPFW with 38 seconds to go. And a timeout is called by IPFW. See if it's a full timeout. Okay, the College Cable Access Monthly Program Guide provides information about our programming, including live coverage of Mastodon sports. To receive your free College 56 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College 56 at IPFW, 2101 East Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Or you can call us at 481-6056 or email us at cable56@ipfw.edu. 38 seconds left. You're down by 4. The other team has the ball. What do you do?
Foul. You're going to have to foul. Somehow try to get some defensive pressure, maybe a steal. But you're going to have to come down the court and try to make a couple big shots now. Time is against you here on the home floor. Obviously, that call against
Jamie Holderman.
Jamie Holderman now will come into question. Of course, the last time we were on the air, Mike, we had more controversy, of course. That
with 14 seconds to go as we replay that on Mastodon Spotlight this past week.
Game against Indianapolis, I believe.
Second year in a row we had controversy with the Greyhounds. Here we go. St. Louis to inbound at Gowaltney. Looking for somebody. IPFW with the full court pressure. No whistle. Albert got rid of it. Now he got the foul. Oh, almost intentional. Shani Smith barreled into Megan Malk. Unfortunately, it was not called intentional. For Shani, that's her first foul of the game, and that's really not that important at this point. It's Amy Gerald's in the lineup replacing Dudley for IPFW. What is important is there's 32 seconds left. St. Louis leads 59-55. And 5'7" freshman Megan Malk at the line, 1 and bonus.
Excellent free throw shooter at 93%, but she misses.
Wellen, offensive board, second big offensive rebound for Wellen.
That's a killer there.
And now IPFW forced the foul. Wertz picks up the foul with 25 seconds to go.
Another big offensive rebound by number 54, Lynette Wellen.
She picked off the missed free throw by Albert, which led to the 3-point shot by Malk earlier.
IPFW not blocking out underneath.
Rafael knocks the first free throw down.
Once, maybe twice, never. Now a 5-point lead.
Even if she makes it, Ryan, it's a 2-possession game if the Dons can knock down 2 trays and get a defensive stop with 25 seconds to go. 61-55 as Brelfield knocks down,
Still
makes
pressure.
the second. Fleming fires a 3, short. Rebound, Halderman out of bounds. They say touched by Halderman, and her foot was on the baseline, so it'll be St. Louis ball with 15 seconds left.
This one now almost seemingly out of reach.
What a crushing defeat this will be if it turns out that way. As Tanisha Albert is fouled by Halderman, Jamie's second. That is a 10th team foul, so it is double bonus now the rest of the way these last 14 seconds. And Tanisha Albert, who actually started things for St. Louis in the second half with 2 quick buckets, goes to the line.
She definitely came alive, and then she got her teammates involved with Longseth and Wellen. 75% free throw shooter, makes the first.
Gives her 13 points, 1 more, and she'll be at her season average.
And she has 9 rebounds to go along with that, so 1 rebound shy of a double-double.
Stacy Haig, 5'11" freshman, comes in for the first time. Albert, second free throw, good. 63-55, 13 seconds to go. Halderman for 3. No, rebound Fleming. Trish puts it back up and in. And IPFW calls a quick timeout with 8 seconds to go. Perhaps a case of too little, too late.
Yep.
As it's 67-53. Well, stranger things have happened, but...
against IPFW, yeah, to say the very least, in the last couple of weeks.
They almost have to get a dead ball foul, hope for the miss, come down, hit a 3, call another timeout, and hope they have enough time to do it again. I want to remind you, we will be back Saturday afternoon, February 3rd at 1 p.m. for more IPFW women's basketball, when the Mastodons challenge the Screaming Eagles of the University of Southern Indiana. That's Saturday, February 3rd, 1 p.m. I'm sorry. Yeah, for Channel 56. And I also want to remind you to stay with us after this game, because coming up next, the men's teams take to the floor. IPFW and Missouri St. Louis. That's 3 o'clock here at College 56. Whistle, foul. As Brefeld is fouled. She'll go back for 2 more free throws. And as our producer, Bernie Lowmiller, so nicely reminds me that I can't read properly. 6 seconds to go. Lindsay Brefeld at the line.
That's being a little harsh, don't you think? A little harsh?
Lindsay Werns with the foul. Hey, he's right. That's why I wear glasses, but that's no excuse. Lindsay Brefeld, left-hander, knocks it home.
Well, you can start putting the final nails now in the coffin. IPFW will have a...
Second one missed. Amy Geralds with the rebound, 5 seconds. Long pass, 3-point shot by Wernst, off the iron, no good as the horn sounds. And this contest is complete. Final score, University of Missouri, St. Louis 64, IPFW 57. With the victory, the River Women improved to 5-4 in the conference, 9-6 overall. And with the crushing defeat, IPFW drops to 4-5 in GOVC play, 11-5 overall. And Ryan, this perhaps may have been more devastating a loss for IPFW as was last week's tough 2-point loss to Indianapolis, because IPFW had control of this game.
They did. They were up 11 points
They were up
at the half.
20-8
yeah.
at one point in the first half.
At one point in the first half. I mean, give credit where credit is due. Missouri St. Louis, nice job in the second half. It's all about adjustments, and they made the adjustments in the second half, coming out with some nice pressure, 1-3-1, that zone, trapping zone defensively. Caused a lot of turnovers. Were able to come down the floor, and Wellen and Longseth just stepped up their games. And then it was initiated by Tanisha Albert, by her.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers. We have a quick moment before we sign off. Leading scorer for St. Louis is the big gal underneath, Lynette Wellen, 20 points. Tanisha Albert with 14. They're the only ones in double figures. You've got Longseth with 7. 5 apiece for Megan Malk. None bigger than that 3-point shot on the missed free throw.
Yep.
5 points for Lindsay Brefeld. Let's see. 2 points apiece for Leah Bomey and Kelly Blunt. For IPFW, 16 points for Trish Fleming, 15 points for Jamie Hardeman, all on threes. 13 points for Amy Geralds, 11 of those in the first half. 6 points for Shani Smith, 5 points for Lindsay Wernst, 2 points for Tiara Dudley. But you want to look at a couple of things. At one point we said in the first half, IPFW, 5 of 10 from three-point range. They finish up 12 of 37.
Unbelievable.
For 32%, and you don't win a basketball game doing that.
Of their 64 shots, 37 from behind the arc, 21 of 64 from the floor, 33%. And you take a look at Missouri St. Louis, 26 of 56 from the floor, 46%. Only 14 three-point attempts for them for the match. So a nice come-from-behind victory for Missouri St. Louis. Obviously a bitter pill to swallow for IPFW as they fall here this afternoon, Mike.
Well, we'll see if they have better luck when we return again on February 3rd when the Dons entertain Southern Indiana. Well, that's it for this broadcast. Our telecast today was sponsored in part by Pizza Hut of Canterbury, featuring famous Pizza Hut pizza. We'd like to thank at this time the College 56 production crew, the IPFW athletic staff, the city of Fort Wayne, Comcast Cablevision, the IPFW Learning Resource Center, and especially the IPFW Office of University Relations and Communications for their contributions to this College 56 Sports telecast. This telecast of IPFW Sports is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this event without expressed written consent is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed our telecast of IPFW Sports, if not the outcome, and we thank you again for joining us this afternoon. For Ryan Perrott, this is Mike Moss saying goodbye for now. Once again, our final score, the University of Missouri St. Louis 64, IPFW 57. Stay tuned, men's action to follow shortly here on College 56 Sports. But until then, we say goodbye for now from the Heritage Sports Center on the campus of IPFW.